There's a reason why all these rich people, create trust funds for their kids, because they know the value of compound interest, they know the value of generational wealth, they know the value of, setting up their kid. Hello guys, my name is Aji. Welcome to Figure It Out with Aji, a place where you're empowered to figure out your money, your career, your personal growth, and live life on your own terms. So today I'm going to be talking about the 6 things I've learned about money. So let's get into this video. So the first thing that I've learned about money is to own your bills or they will own you. So one thing that you can do here is put your bills in a separate account so that it does not cause confusion when your income comes in. So for me, example, I put all my bills in one account. I know that account is mainly for bills. Another thing that I do is to automate my bills, so I don't have to think about it and it saves time. So if you're like new to this financial journey, if you're not like just studying about your finances and things like that, you can just start with one bill that you know it does not change, like maybe your phone bill or your internet services. Another thing that I use to take control of my bills is I do a regular audit on my subscription services just to make sure that I'm like using these services, because the thing about like, especially in America here, we have a lot of subscription services and we don't use them because we're just so busy with life and working. A big example with like cable bills. Cable bills are like, they're expensive. Another thing is you can do is like bundle your services. For example, Disney Plus has a deal with like Hulu and then I believe ESPN, whereby those 3 streaming services bundle together, and instead of paying for each services, you can consolidate that and pay a lesser amount for 3, so you get more buck for your money as well. Another way that I keep my bills lean is I don't upgrade phones every year now, because they like these companies, this phone company and these internet companies make their money out of like people upgrading their phones every year. And like when you upgrade your phone every year and then you're paying for the phone and you're paying for the services, by the time you know it, you're paying like above $100. You can either you can buy a used phone on the internet, or you can buy a new phone but upfront if you can afford it. I know things are hard and it's not easy. And another thing that taking control of your bills you can do is negotiate the amount you're gonna pay with your service provider. Like negotiate your internet bill with them, call them up and let them know, hey, this is what I can afford, or this is what this other company is giving me. Like, can you guys match that? Every time that I am like renewing my insurance policy for my car and for like rent and stuff like that, I'll call them and negotiate with them. You'll be surprised like how much discounts you would get when you negotiate. The thing about like owning your bills is you want to keep them as lean as possible, because you want to cut your costs and keep as much money as you can, so that you can either save those money or invest it in other things. So the second thing that I've learned about money is winning with money requires some form of intentionality. You have to really be intentional about your money, and that's where the first step of that is having a budget, because you need to be able to account for what is going in and what is coming out as well. That's how you know where you're going. But if you don't have a budget, you don't have any sense of like what my money is doing, it will just wander out of your life. If you have been like stuck in a rut and like you just want to change your life in terms of like just being good at money, you probably need to do some lifestyle change. The thing about it is, honestly, you cannot be doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's just the definition of insanity. You have to try something new, and that requires discipline, that requires living below your means, that requires saying no to you and others, and also just reevaluating your values. Like, what are your values? Like, what is important to you? Do you just rather keep up with the Joneses, or you just have goals and ideals and like a vision of where you want your life to be and your family? Do you want to create generational wealth? Do you want to be financially free? It takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of hard work. So definitely defining what your values are and sticking with those. So the third thing that I've learned about money is you have to pay yourself first. When you get your income, like when you get your take-home income, pay yourself first. Take the amount, like the money saving goals that you have for that month, and take it off top. Do not wait until the end of the month to take out the savings that you want, because the chances of you having money left after taking all your bills and taking care of all your miscellaneous is very slim. You can have a budget and you can work on the bills that you have going on, and you can pay that. But the miscellaneous stuff, that is what can kill you, because if you're thinking, you paid all your bills, and you see, I have miscellaneous amount of money to spend and stuff like that, the lines sometimes do get blurred between miscellaneous things and your saving goals. Another way of paying yourself first is have your employee deduct the savings for your retirement account. The main function of a retirement account is to maintain your standard of living when you retire, so that you don't have to work an extra time to make ends meet. When you're contributing now, compound interest is doing its magic right now, so it's growing. As you are growing, it's growing. So, and it adjusts, so inflation is adjusted as well. So you have to have a foundation to build a financial powerhouse. So that foundation, like retirement account, is part of it, because it's a form of security. The budgetista Tiffany just explains it the best. She gave the analogy of if your grandmother was broke and she didn't have the means to take care of herself, and she's retired, would you kick her out of the house? No. As someone that loves her grandmother or his grandmother, or you would not kick her out. That hit home for me, and it makes so much sense. So basically what she was saying is the reason why you want to have a retirement account is to take care of the older you when the time arises. So the younger you is setting blocks to take care of the older you, so that you don't have to depend on other people to take care of you when it comes to money. Another way of paying yourself first is if you have the options to contribute to a health savings account. This is sometimes provided by employers. Health savings account is an account that you contribute to from your paycheck, so it's tax exempt as long as the money that is spent on that account is medical related approved stuff. Another thing about health savings account, it gets invested into the market, so it's providing you this tax exemption when you spend on medical expenses, but as well as it's also working for you in the stock market. So it also doesn't stay stagnant, it is growing. Well, it is being invested in the stock market, and it grows with you, and that is something that you can use when you get older as well, when you retirement age. So you can dip into that money and pay for your medical things without even touching your retirement. So I highly advocate for a health savings account if your company provides it, or if you have the option to do it. So the third thing that I've learned about money is you have to create some form of defense with your money. And what I mean by that is getting out of debt, paying off your debt, and staying out of debt, especially consumer debt, because consumer debt does not go up in value. It goes down in value, and when you're being charged interest, if you can, stay away from consumer debt. Another way of creating a defense for your money is having some form of liquid savings readily available when there's an emergency. The reason for an emergency fund is a personal insurance policy. If things go awry, it's not there to invest. If you can have 3 to 6 months emergency fund, you're winning. If you can build on that, that will really boost your financial journey and your financial independence in the long run. Another way of creating defense with your money is, if you have kids, create a college fund from them from when they were born to all the way to 18. That money grows as they are growing, because the money is not sitting there, it's being invested in the stock market. So you may be investing, let's say, 20,000, and by the time that they're 18 years old, it's already tripled, 60,000, or quadruple, whatever it is. So that is a way of creating generational wealth for your family. And even if they don't go to college, like they can use the money for businesses, like maybe the business they're interested in, they can use it for their first down payment to get a home. So that is a good way of like setting your family up. There's a reason why all these rich people, create trust funds for their kids, because they know the value of compound interest, they know the value of generational wealth, they know the value of, setting up their kids, because you want your kids to start from C. When you start from A, you want your kids to start from C. But if you're single, for example, like me, like I don't have to worry about it right now, but just being cognizant of it, being aware of it when the time arrives. Fifth thing that I've learned about money is to embark on the offense with money. So once you've created your defense on the previous things that I've talked about, go on the offense. This is where you start investing in, like, your mutual fund, as well as like, in your businesses. Maybe you have a business idea that you want to, like, go into. You can start, investing in that. It could be real estate. Literally there's so many things, ways of investing and making your money grow for you. Any money that is like sitting in your account that is not an emergency fund, or that is not there for like a specific investment, such as like, paying for a down payment or for your house and things like that, should be invested in some form of business or some form of investment, because you want your money to like be working for you while you're in sleep. That's the way of creating or generating insurmountable amounts of money. And also with going on the offense, compound interest is your friend. Like literally there's a saying that compound interest is the seventh wonder of the world. This is why all these banks have tall buildings, because they have made compound interest their friend. And they just screwed over all of us, literally, with like, charging us interest with credit cards and stuff like that. If you really want to turn the table, you really have to start thinking about like an investor or like a bank. A way of going on the offense is creating different streams of income. The thing about it is, honestly, it's hard to live on one source of income, unless you have a high paying job. So definitely if you can, diversify and look for other sources of income, it's a win for you. And also, this is not just coming out of nowhere. Like there's a study that has shown that the middle class has shrunk quite a bit. A lot of people have their own side job that they're doing. So definitely look into multiple streams of income. So the sixth thing that I've learned about the money is it is a tool to buy your time and freedom to do the things that you want to do. When I was a struggling college student, I was just in survival mode. So when you're in survival mode, it's like you don't even have time to sit with your dreams because you're in survival mode. So like once you start implementing these financial steps to win with money, you start breathing a little bit lighter, and you're able to switch from like the survival mode to like a thriving mode. That perspective is quite exhilarating, and it's quite refreshing, because then you're able to sit with your thoughts and sit with your ideas, and think about creative ways and how you can make more money. There's a famous study that has shown that, once you start making $75,000 and beyond, your life satisfaction increases, but it does not increase your happiness. But obviously this is dependent on like, what city that you live in the US. I mean, if you live in San Francisco, $75,000 is nothing, or New York City is nothing. Your life satisfaction increases, but your happiness does not increase. So what that means is that you're more satisfied about where you are, you're content with where you are. Obviously we all know the saying that money does not buy happiness, but you can use money to have an impact on other people's life, to elevate other people when you're elevating yourself, and build an ecosystem. For me, like, having a scarcity mindset doesn't serve nobody. It does not serve you. It does not serve anybody. So I come from a place of abundance, because when I come from a place of abundance, it returns to me tenfold. It's a delicate balance. Like there's a difference between helping other people to fend for themselves and also enabling parasitic behavior. Definitely for me, money is a tool to kind of create some form of independence, some form of freedoms, and also have time to do the things that I want to do and focus on things that really matter to me, and not chasing money just because. So those are the 6 things that I've learned about money. Let us know down below in the comments what you've learned about money since you started your financial journey. I hope you guys find these things helpful. That's the main reason why I come up with these topics and I talk to you guys about money, because I just think it's important. Do like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. It lets the algorithm know that you guys enjoy this content, and it lets me know what kind of content that you like, so that I can create more content like that for you. Until then, I will see you guys when I see you. Bye.